Give me 1 second, fellas.
Peace, two wheels, one love.
One, two, three into the four. Snoop Doggy Dogg and Dr. Dre is at the door. Ready to make an entrance, so back on up.
Cause you know we're about to rip shit up.
Give me the microphone first so I can bust like a bubble. Compton and Long Beach together, now you know you in trouble. Ain't nothing but a G thing, baby. Too low out niggas, so we're crazy. Death Row is the label that pays me. Unfadable, so please don't try to fake this. But back to the lecture at hand. Perfection is perfected, so I'ma let them understand from a young G's perspective. And before me digging a bitch, I have to find a contraceptive. You never know, she could be earning her man and learning her man, and at the same time burning her man. Now you know I ain't with that shit, Lieutenant. Ain't no pussy good enough to get burned while I'm offended. And that's realer than real deal, Holyfield. And now you hookers and hoes know how I feel. Well, if it's good enough to get broke off a proper chunk, I take a small piece of some of that funky stuff. It's like this and like that and like this and it's like that and like this and like that and it's like this and like that and like this and Drake creep to the mic like a fan.
Well, I'm peeping and I'm creeping and I'm creeping, but I damn near got caught cause my beeper kept beeping. Now it's time for me to make my impression felt. So sit back, relax and strap on your seatbelt. You never been on a ride like this before, with a producer who can rap and control the maestro. At the same time with the dope rhyme that I kick, you know and I know I flow some more funky shit. To add to my collection, this selection symbolizes don't take a toke but don't choke. If you do, you have no clue of what me and my homie Snoop Dogg came to do. It's like this and like that and like this and it's like that and like this and like that and it's like this. And who gives a fuck about those?
So just chill to the next episode. Back on that ass, what a halified gangster lean. Getting funky on the mic like an old batch of collard greens. It's the capital S-O-S, I'm fresh and double O-P, D-O-double-G-Y-D-O-double-G, you see. Showing much flex when it's time to wreck a mic. Pimping hoes and clocking a grip like my name was Dolomite. Yeah, and it don't quit. I think they in the mood for some motherfucking G shit. So Dre,
What up, dog?
gotta give them what they want.
What's that, G?
We gotta break them off something.
Hell yeah.
And it's gotta be bumping. City of Compton.
This is where it takes place, so I national attention. Mobbing like a motherfucker, but I ain't lynching. Dropping the funky shit that's making the sucker niggas mumble. When I'm on the mic, it's like a cookie, they all crumble. Try to get close, say your ass will get smacked. My motherfucking homie, Doggy Dogg, has got my back. Never let me slip, cause if I slip, then I'm slipping. But if I got my Nina, then you know I'm straight tripping. And I'ma continue to put the rap down, put the Mac down. And if your bitches talk shit, I have to put the smack down, yeah. And you don't stop. I told you I'm just like a clock when I tick and I talk. But I'm never off, always on till the break of dawn. See you when PTO win in the city they call Long Beach. Putting the shit together like my nigga DOC. No one can do it better like this, that, and this, and it's like that, and like this, and like that, and it's like this.
What's up, everybody? This is David Flores, the Bike Life Surfer from the 5280, as we do our OBC recap 2026 with Jay from the Lit Riders and Mr. Tony Vegas himself. What up, fellas? How's it going? Everybody recuperated?
Oh yeah.
Yep, kind of, but I'm here. But I'm here.
Definitely the spokesperson for OBC, boy. You definitely put it in, man. Let's jump in, fellas. How you guys doing? What I can't say it enough, man. Like, the biggest shout out that I want to give before we start is a huge shout out to the Detroit Transport from my boy E and Mary Hart. They not only got bikes from Detroit, and they're offering now a transportation business. They also came to Colorado. They came out of their way to bring take my bike out there that hit the streets of OBC for the first time. Only had been built, test rode in Denver a few blocks, and then shipped right out the next day. So big shout out to those guys. Thank you so very much. And E, I'm so sorry for adding a tall bike back on top of it. So big shout out to Detroit, Michigan. But I got it, guys. It's here, so it's safe. So Tony, tell me about your experiences with OBC. How long have you been in the game for it?
The experience has been good. I've been in OBC since 2017 as a avid goer and contributor to all the fun stuff and all the good memories. A lot of my best memories have been through OBC, and then just started being a part of the OBC street team more the last 2 to 3 years now, but mostly the last 2 years have been more hands-on and being more part of the team. So it's been going good. It's like people don't realize how much work it takes behind the scenes to get this show going for everybody to come and enjoy. So my enjoyment is seeing now people enjoying themselves versus me enjoying myself like you guys enjoy yourselves when you guys come out.
Right on. Jay, what about you? How many OBCs does this make for you?
So my first OBC was in 2021. And that's where a lot of our inspiration came from to become a club, because we were just riding just together, and then seeing all the clubs and the unity and everybody coming together, it really inspired us. And we're like, we need to become a club and really, set ourselves apart and make a name for ourselves in the scene. And basically it was after OBC, we went home and Lit Riders was born literally like the next day. It was incredible, but it's some of the best times that we have just riding in Vegas, all over, seeing all the crews, and it's amazing. It's amazing. We really love it.
And as you know, for me, it was my very first OBC. And
man,
I was
so cute, the virgin.
I know. I was the baby. It was so fun. It was adorable. I looked at myself at one moment. I thought it was adorable. But I mean, I had a couple of shots of whiskey, and all of a sudden, I know I was doing the Pee Wee Herman dance. One thing I will say about that Pee Wee Herman dance, I requested that those Adidas be tested for PEDs because there's no way he was supposed to move that way. But big shout out to my man G. He definitely deserves that outfit and all. You know what the funny thing is so I am notoriously known for rocking Air Max 90s. That is like my thing. You know what I'm saying? And this man, he already won, so I wasn't tripping. But then he comes up to me and says, "You know why you lost, right? He's wearing them sucker ass shoes right there compared to these." Like he had the Adidas snakeskin. He had the Adidas snakeskins on. So I so gently walked over and put like my foot jokingly over his shoe, and he was like, "David, hey, whoa, dude!" Like, and then King Wayne was like, "In the '80s, you would have disappeared for some shit like that."
Yeah,
yeah.
You would have been gone. You're definitely been gone. You're definitely been gone.
There's a lot of problems that are buried in the desert out there in Vegas. I've heard once upon a time. So that's a story.
They're still there.
But I had just a wonderful time with all of you guys. Tony, I mean, you were so welcoming when you knew I was there. I mean, literally like 4 years ago, when I was barely just getting into it, just doing community rides, I stumbled upon your stuff, and I would always watch it. Whatever videos I could find, and then I finally learned how to subscribe and everything to it because I'd never really been into YouTube. But yeah, you're some of the first content that I ever viewed, so it was really nice to meet you and ride with you. I saw that on one of the rides. It looked like you had a little mechanical issue, and everybody gave you your space to get your bike going again. So
what did I have? There was something. What did I have on my bike that I pulled over? I forgot what I did, but it was my brake. My brake, like on the coaster brake, the little brake part right there, it moved up. So, so my screw was too long, so it was hitting the spokes. So it sounded like a motorcycle. It was like, so I had to adjust it. So I flipped the screw over. Sometimes in bike life, you got to improvise and come up with fast solutions. Because sometimes you're out there and you just don't know, and You can't be just like, oh, woe is me. You know, I gotta figure things out really quick in order for me to keep on going. Because if last resort is like, hey, I just gotta walk my bike back. You know,
Right.
so
So Jay, this is you've been going to OBC now since you said since 2021. At this one, what was like your best memory of the whole week that you guys were there? What stuck out to you the most?
Well, the Friday night ride and the craziness that ensued, but we all got back safely. That was it. But this year we kind of did a little something outside with some people, and we did a little Red Rocks Canyon ride during the daytime.
that sounded like
Um,
that looked dope. That looked
it
really
was pretty cool. There was like 42 of us, I think, that we went out there, and it's beautiful. That was my second time doing that little loop, the little 14-mile loop. But the scenery, it's just to take it all in. It's so amazing. The weather was absolutely perfect this year. I couldn't have asked for anything better. It was, last year was a little on the warmer side, but
good.
and it's funny too because like literally a week before OBC, it was like 100 degrees out there, and it just came out. The weather was just perfect
Little
for
breeze,
all the rides.
little wind, but it's okay.
Right. It was manageable, and weren't out there overheating and sweating. You know,
Yeah.
that's one thing that I can't handle heat at all. I just I'm a bitch when it comes to heat. I just can't hang. But it was perfect. So I appreciate all the weather was amazing. So it was overall a great time. We had a blast this year.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I want to give
Yeah.
a quick shout out. I want to give a big Texas howdy, y'all, to San Antonio, Texas in the house. Shout out to Rose Flores from the Wild Dogs, hanging out at Level Up Bicycle Shops. Shout out to the Wild Dogs, Cannibal Bike Crew, Lost Boys. Please like and subscribe, guys.
Yeah.
Thanks for tuning in. So my favorite experience with it too was probably the Friday night ride. That kind of jump started my heart. I was like, oh man, this is the big times now. Being chased by the law. No, not really, but it was fun. Like all around, every ride was, I did like every other ride. I didn't do back-to-back rides, but every ride was well calculated. Great street captains out there. What is it? Extra Credit. They put on a fun ride. I really enjoyed riding with
Yeah.
them. And so,
Yeah.
That's one of the local. That's one of the local crews out here. Extra Credit. Shout outs to Extra Credit. They did their thing. You know, we have a lot of people that come and ride, and we encourage when people come out to ride because OBC is like basically their thing is the opening party, the pool party, and the show. All the rides are all bonuses for everybody to come out and enjoy. So when people come out and enjoy, we expect you guys to have fun, ride safe. We don't expect you guys to get in trouble or anything like that. But you're basically riding at your own risk and you enjoy yourself. So like how Jay said, like they went on their own ride and they did their thing. We expect that you guys to break off into groups. Don't have to necessarily go on the big rides, but you guys can go off and do your own little small groups in the city. And that's always good to do when you guys come out to Las Vegas. I've done that plenty of times before when people come out to Las Vegas and it's like, hey Tony, can we do a ride? Or we'll take the local clubs. I started off with Familia Bike Club when I started off this, and I've learned a lot of routes with them. And then with that being said, I just know what routes to ride around to let people enjoy the city of Las Vegas. Sometimes the rides get too big for me now because it's like I've done it for so long, and so I like the more intimate rides with the smaller groups, just because I get to talk to them. We get to talk to each other. We get to talk about bikes, bullshit with each other. Shout outs to Barcata Southeast chapter and the Hoodlums and Exclusive Bike Club, all those guys that rode like all the heavy hitting bikes, Chapaderos. We all took our own little ride and we enjoyed ourselves because we've been doing it for so long. So we try to enjoy ourselves as much as we possibly can at this time, because a lot of people wait for this time to come out to Las Vegas for OBC, and this is their only vacation.
Right.
And so when they come out, we try to make sure that they enjoy themselves as much as you can. We try to do everything we can to make sure that events are good and to make sure that the rides can be, carried well by the individuals that are leading the rides. But sometimes it becomes its own monster, and so it's like it gets kind of hard, But as long as everybody gets home safely, as long as everybody gets to ride and have those memories and take those pictures, take those videos, and have a good time, that's all that matters. Because everything else that's negative or we got people that don't even come, and then they say certain things, and it's like, well, you're not even here, guy, but it's okay. Next year you'll come, and then you'll enjoy yourself too. So we really try, Las Vegas, OBC, we try really hard to make sure everybody has a good time.
Man, I had a wonderful time. There was nothing like it. Everything I had been watching for the last 3 years, going into my 4th year, was right there in front of me for the first time. There was like Justin Kim, and then there was those rascals. I call them protectors of the bike life galaxy, the schoolyards. Big shout out to Riz, Jared, Sarah, Zell, Renata, Johnny, Paul, Daniel, Mark, and Joe, and then Smokey the Cat. And apparently, I want to share something with you. Miss Sarah is now going to be doing. Let me pull this up real quick here. Oh, I don't know if okay, hold on. I got something I got to share. Apparently, Miss Sarah is going to be now a photographer, and she wants to do 12 photos that she can catch any of us men in weird positions. Hold on, look at this. Couldn't believe she got me on this one. She definitely got me.
I don't know.
You ready?
Here we go.
Here I am. I was sitting there minding my own business, and she held the camera there until I got into that position, and she got
Damn.
Damn, Sarah. She got Wiggles, too, recently, so she's got 2 out of the 12, and she plans to make a calendar of all of us that are like this. So you guys beware when Miss Sarah from
Dave, all I gotta ask are, what are those? What are those right there?
Those are Air Max 90s. Those are the Mars. Those are the Air Max 90s. Those are those garbage that G said were no good.
I thought you went out to Red Rock. I was like, oh, what are they?
I should have. That would have been perfect for my outfit on that damn black. So yeah, she got me on that one. Gotta love her for that. She's a great person. But yeah, and another fun thing that I had, and I had rode with Jake from State Farm from the Oddfellas in Phoenix, Arizona more than once. I actually got to kick it with Jake, AB, Vince, Fernando, Patrick, and Fabian. So it was really cool. And they're just right next door in New Mexico. So that was really fun. The one thing that I did say that like shocked, it pretty much floored him. Was like, hey man, I heard this rumor from Miss Juanita, a lady with one leg that rides a fixie bike. She has a son named Ray, goes by Do Ray Me. I heard that Colorado green chili is better than New Mexico green chili. My God. It's like the world stopped and they like levitated up above me.
I'm not even part of that. I'm going to leave that one alone.
So I've asked Aaron Gonzalez the same question before when I had him on here too. But no, it was really good to hang out with those guys. Those guys are really fun, very positive. AV's great. He told me that he liked my bike. But if I wanted to be noticed a little bit more, it's time for a stretch. So you guys will see me in 2027 with my first stretch.
Well, I mean, the thing about OBC, it all started off as more of a custom stretch cruiser type of show. That's what a lot of it stemmed. A lot of the beginning stage. That was the thing to do. But as time goes on, things progress, and after COVID, it just blew up on a whole different level. So, OBC is a bit more catered for the cruisers. We just added more stuff to it because that's just what it is. It's just we try to make sure that everyone gets involved more than just the cruiser stuff. But it's changed. It's been different. It's been different because it's just been a lot more people nowadays.
Yeah.
But to get noticed, to get in and doing it right, anybody can build a stretch cruiser, but just that's your journey. That's your journey. So when you're building it, those are what the skill sets that at that time. And then down the line, then you'll learn some more stuff, and then you'll build another stretch with the skill sets that you learned from the first time. You start going to the shows, start paying attention. As Jay's like 2-time OBC champ right now with the LED bikes, and that I admire a lot. And when we were doing the judgments, it's different, but that bike, he didn't start off that way. He started off with something different, and then he ended up learning more things. And as he goes on and goes on, he ends up with a big ass masterpiece that he has. And that thing's
Just
loud.
just wait till next year.
Oh gosh, I didn't want to know.
It's gonna be
Don't
it's
worry,
gonna
I
be
got
crazy.
shit in the works too. Don't worry, I got shit in the works too. But with that being said, it's like you definitely have to go through the motions and learn just like everyone else does. Because best part about bike life, it's the journey. So if you start learning things down the line and you start building and you show it off, and you get your peers to say, hey man, that's a good looking bike, and and it's like that's all you basically need. Never need to just go to the bike shows to win trophies. It's just the accolades of people saying, hey man, good job on that bike. And there's just levels to the game. With me and the Zephyr, it's been growing and growing, and I've learned a lot of things to where it's at right now. So it's just enjoy the journey, man. Just enjoy the journey, enjoy all the things, ask questions. People in the bike life community has helped out. They've helped out me. I've helped out a lot of friends. It's a good community to be part of if you let it be, a good community.
Definitely. One thing I will say that I thought was some real bike life this weekend is, as you know, my friend has not logged on, so I think he's got some things going on. But my friend Eric Stieber, that is a content creator, his name is Riding Dirty. You guys should check him out on YouTube. It's hilarious. His daughter saw Lit Riders, and we tracked down Jay. Jay took a second to do this, and this was like one of the coolest things I saw at OBC altogether. Hold on, I'll show you this right here.
Because Jay's a cool dude.
That was dope. He took a time out of what he was doing to get my friend's daughter on there. She rode the bike. I mean, she didn't ride the bike, but she got to sit on it. And then the homegirl, Ginger Rose, came and she found her before they left and gave her a sticker. Now that right there, people, that's bike life. Just because we're adults and stuff and we got our tricked out bikes, somebody actually took the time to make 2 seconds, as Justin Kim would say, 2 seconds to share and support. And he supported that she wanted to see his bike, and she brought him out, and that's what we get right there. That is going to be a lasting memory for her always. And I know he is responsible for the video that you guys watched today. I asked him to come in and do it for me. So, Jay, thank you from the bottom of my heart on that, because you really did make her night. And it was crazy. She pedaled that whole ride. She pedaled that whole ride on an 86 GT Interceptor, I believe. So, and it was funny because his wife ended up getting my I said, hey, try the Surfer, and then so I ended up riding a 26er GT Mandalorian for a while and stuff, and it was funny, man. The mom got on my bike, and that thing is fast, and so she took off, and it was funny to see the daughter in hot pursuit just pedaling away. So I mean, there was all aspects of bike life this weekend that I saw, and all of it was positive. I had a great time, and I cannot wait to do it again in 2027. So it's going to be awesome, like definitely. Do you have anything, Jay, that you'd like to share before we go off? We got about 6 more minutes. With your, so you've won it back-to-back years as Best Lights, right?
Yes.
Do you feel like you're going to pull out of that and maybe go into the sound systems next?
And I mean, I have one speaker. I mean, it's pretty loud where it is. Obviously, it's not as elaborate as some of the other systems out there. So I'm not really going for sound, being that lights is kind of what I do every day.
Okay. That's definitely cool.
I found my lane. Just gonna stick to my lane. I do have some. What I wanted to present this year, was going to be a little different, but from all the bikes I was doing and prepping and everything, like literally came down to the day of OBCs, finishing up like the last projects. I didn't even have time to get to myself to even do what I wanted to do this year. So next year, though, I'm coming with it. It's gonna be pretty stellar.
Sure.
Yeah, it's gonna be stellar. So it's never been done before, and you guys are gonna hopefully turn some heads and blow some people away. So
nice.
Okay, to end this, we got about 6-7 minutes. So check this out. The very last thing that we need to discuss at OBC was, how the hell did Art Ramirez dance like that? Did you see that? I mean, 5,000 views. 5,000 views. 5,000 views. The internet blew up. I mean,
You're at 5,000.
That was just me. That was just me on my video. I don't know about
Yeah.
yours. So
Yeah, that Art Ramirez. Art Ramirez is the coolest uncle in everyone's family. I'm telling you that right now. And
absolutely,
if you ever get the
yeah.
chance to actually have a conversation with the man, that guy will take you on a journey that will talk about bikes and talk your ear off. But when he gets a couple of drinks in that man, a couple, liquid courage, man, he's the coolest uncle. He's the Theo of everybody. So yeah, he can get down and have a good time. The rest of them,
Yeah, he
you know.
definitely that was great. That dance was just it caught me out of nowhere, especially when he was in the booth dancing, doing his thing. I
Oh
mean,
yeah,
every bit about that. I mean, he did have the meeting of the bike life meaning theory talk with me and stuff like that. I heard a lot of great stories. He's someone that I'm actually looking up to start me on my first stretch journey. So that's somebody who I want to go through. So big shout out to Art Ramirez. It was great. I believe he saved the day. I think 3 or 4 times to my boy E. He helped him fix his trike, and he got that going again. So yeah, I mean, it was really fun hanging out with Art and all of those riders. Big shout out to JP, Art, Fernando, Mario, Joanna. Big shout out to all you guys. It was great seeing you, as well as Whispers. It was great seeing everybody. I mean, it was a great time. I cannot wait for 2027. And I'm going to come to Vegas. I want to come ride with you again, Tony, down there and stuff like that too, because I've been making my
come out,
rounds.
man. Come out,
Definitely.
come out.
And as you know,
it's good times.
as you know, July 8th through the 13th, I'll be having my first bike event in Denver, Colorado, the Midwest Invasion. Detroit, Ohio, Illinois. I know San Antonio, Texas is coming. They're talking about bringing their flags on their bikes and invading Colorado as well. So it's going to be a good time. So I'll send you some information and maybe you can come check it out as well. So it isn't it's stretch friendly, but more stretch e-bike friendly. So if you do decide to come out, I'll personally have you an e-bike or some kind of bike with gears that you would prefer. So
Okay, cool.
open invite for both of you. Jay knows that. So, but yeah, you don't want somebody. I do have one person from the Wild Dogs that claims that my golden ride in Colorado that does have a little bit of hills. They're gonna ride it. They got gears on their stretch, so they want to definitely test the theory on that one. Let's go to the thing. See here, Sherry Herrera is saying I turn into a human top when I'm not snot slinging drunk. That's the Scrap Father. That's not Sherry Herrera. Sherry Herrera says that he needs 4 martinis. Oh, my boy E says his sounds won't be whack next year. Hey, let's close that off real quick. We got about 3 minutes. Tony, break it to everybody on a closing note about the sound system competition. What's going to be the narrative for next year? Because I heard a lot of different stories on what people want and what they think is fair and what's not.
Okay, so what's going to happen for next year? Next year, OBC, we're going to have a competition on the sounds. The sound's going to be 2 different categories. There's going to be a trailer sound system where you can bring your trailer, but when you bring your trailer, make it look like you built it and everything. Don't just bring the speakers to it. Like, take some creativity and build something nice, as your trailer. And then also the second part of the competition will be bikes that are built with speakers on the bikes. Like there's these guys that they're from Sacramento that they have their trikes built with the speakers on there, and they sound loud as hell. But when it was addressed to me, it's like, hey man, you got to make a difference between this and that, and it made sense to me right there and then. So I did a judgment call for next year. We'll do 2 different categories for the best sounds. So that's what's going to be. And then for the best lights, the best light shows are always going to be the Saturday before CruiserCon. But you got to register and go to CruiserCon the next day. But the light show will be
the judging.
The judging. The judging will be done on Saturday, and then we'll see if we'll do the trophy that Saturday night, so we can have everything all shining, everything. We'll see. It's in the works, but like I said, we're trying to make things a lot better and try to spruce things up with OBC. And if you guys cooperate and you guys register early, you guys get your swag bags, you guys register the hotels, all that kind of good stuff from early on, that helps Team OBC kind of have an idea of how many people are going to come, and they can address whatever they need to accommodate for everybody. It helps out a lot if you guys are pro OBC at the beginning, and then just get it over with. Once you get it over with, then by the time you come to the show and everything, it's done. It's like, oh, I did that shit like 7 months ago. So just
okay, great. Great. We're going to end this on a closing note. I thank you guys for coming on. You're more than welcome to stay on. Just kill your audio and your video type deal. But quick, Jay, you've already been through this, and Tony, I'm going to put you through this now. So, Jay, what's your message to the world right now? Like state to state and city to city.
Oh, here it goes.
We just gotta, stay positive. Get out there and ride, have fun, quit all the bullshit. Just have fun. That's at the end of the day. That's all we want to do is have fun on our bikes. So
Definitely.
keep it positive.
Tony, what would you like to say?
It's your boy Tony Vegas from the Pedals Up Show. Make sure to like and subscribe on all of our social media, and also to Bike Life Surfer 5280. Hey, all we want you to do is ride your bikes, enjoy yourselves, have a good time. That's it. If you ain't got a bike, get a bike. Stop being lazy in your goddamn life and just enjoy it.
Awesome. I'm gonna end it. I'm gonna end it and then restart it here in a second. Hey, as Wiggles would say, 2 wheels, 1 love. I hope everybody in Bike Life has a great week. It was very wonderful meeting all of you. Everything that I have viewed for the last 4 years came to life. There was some ups and downs, and for the ups and the downs, my bad on that to everybody. So y'all have a good time. Tony, go ahead.
Can I give a quick shout out real quick?
Absolutely.
Shout outs to Team OBC. Shout outs to Juan Rodriguez, won the John Brain Award. Congratulations, my man. And it was your birthday weekend. Shout outs to all you guys that was part of the OBC. Thank you guys very much. Also, Audio Bar, thank you very much for a good venue. The Grand, thank you very much. And the usual place. That's it.
Peace. All right, guys, go ahead and log off and stay on, or we'll do what you like, but you guys can still tune in. We're going to now go to the Washington Park Cruisers interview. Thank you, guys. Hey, Wash Park Cruisers, come on. Robbie.
Hey there. Thanks for having
Ricky
me.
and Mike.
What's up,
Hey,
everybody?
hey.
We did it. We're
Going on,
done.
guys.
Shout outs to all you guys that participated and showed up and everything. We greatly appreciate that. Thank you guys very much for coming out to OBC, and it was really good to see all you guys. Oh, can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Oh shit!
I was going to interrupt you. Go ahead.
Oops, my bad.
That's all good. Hey, guys, what's going on?
What's going on? Thanks for having us.
Oh, nothing but, hey, no problem. Like, where's you, Teresa? Come on, Teresa. You're ready to come on now. There she is. There's Jay.
Hello.
All right. Teresa, I'm going to have you start with Spencer. I'm going to introduce everybody real quick. Teresa, this is Spencer. Spencer is a very safety advocate for bicycle as well as pedestrian safety. Robbie also runs the Washington Park Cruisers and participates in various rides. All of them are part, and let me just say this on the podcast, are a part of the dumb big rides that they do. They do some crazy fun stuff. Teresa, it's right up your alley. They're long distance riders like you are. You would absolutely do it. Guys, she does her stuff on a 29er BMX bike and gets down, but she rides all aspects of bikes, but she does like to pedal. So, Teresa, I'm going to have you start off with Spencer. Teresa, go.
Hi. Yes, thank you for having me. So I'm super excited. Yeah, as David said, I am a BMX rider, but that does not stop us from doing anything. I was looking at Spencer's stuff this week, and so Spencer, first off, let's just introduce yourself and let us know what your bike life looks like, because it's totally different to mine.
Hey, my name's Spencer. I'm Denver based, but I do a lot of cycle touring and cycle advocacy work. So that's like, safer streets, infrastructure, that kind of thing. But a lot of bike touring and a lot of bike pack racing recently. That's sort of where I hang out in bike life.
Yeah, definitely on another level. I mean, I do like putting in miles, but touring is not in my name.
It's just a handful of miles repeatedly over and over and over again.
I love it. I love it. So, one of the things I did notice about your advocacy was really awesome. Kind of, you're in Colorado based, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So within Colorado, what are some of the biggest things that you're having to advocate for when it comes to safety?
That's a big question. I mean, a lot of the problems we have here in Colorado are the same everyone has everywhere. It's just that The streets are predominantly for cars, even though they're public space that belong to everyone. And there's a lot of unwritten rules that get enforced as if they're laws, like the idea that you have a right to park 2 feet from anywhere you're trying to get to, and that parking around the corner and walking is, a sin to ask someone to do that. Politicians think that it's political suicide. So a lot of stuff that we're doing is just highlighting that, like, the city will build a couple bike lanes, but they don't connect to anything. And they're like, why isn't anyone using these? And it's like, well, if your house isn't on it and the place you're not trying to go to isn't on it, you still have to brave the pretty dangerous streets. So it's not actually that helpful. So a lot of times we're just fighting for a little bit of extra space on the road, and for the city to sort of respect us in the way they talk about, they say this is a big priority for us, and then they actively go against all of that and continue to pay the lip service. So a lot of times it's holding them accountable, calling them out, showing them that the work they're touting as like a success is actually a waste
Yeah.
of money and a waste of time and not helpful to anyone. Cyclists don't like it, drivers don't like it, and then everyone just gets mad.
Yeah, totally understandable. Do you guys have some sort of, like, we have the Yuma Regional Bicycle Coalition, which I'm a part of. I've only been a part of it for about a year, but they've been around for a long time. And we had a lot of, so it's really right now in a transitional period because we have a lot of, which it's kind of really cool though, too. With the Yuma Regional Bicycle Coalition, we have a lot of people that are cyclists. But then you have our group like Yuma Bike Life and all of our BMXers where we ride a totally different bike, but we're on the same mission. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
We're really through a transitional period because we have a lot of older folks that love cycling. Yuma is a very much a visitor area where we get a lot of older folks that like to do those long distance rides for you. So we have the Bicycle Coalition that was really advocating for the bicyclists and making sure that finding ways, and they've done a really, really good job of it. Of now, Yuma is not as big as Denver or anything like that, but we do like to, put in some miles across, even heading to the east here, going through the mountains. We want to do it safely,
Right.
and so we have like a coalition that kind of speaks on behalf of the bicyclists.
Yeah. Do we have something similar here?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's all kinds of different stuff. There's like the Denver Bicycle Lobby. That's sort of a group of folks that contribute a lot of time. They're more like policy focused. They're the ones who are going to be engaging at city council. But then even if you break down within issues, there's like groups who work on like safe routes to school, like bike buses, but making it safer for your kids to bike and walk to school. You've got Denver Streets Partnership, and they're focused on bicycle, but also walking, sidewalk quality, buses. Um, yeah, you've got like, there's a lot of groups, because like to your point, Denver's so big, there's a lot of groups that focus specifically on things that really call to them. Because when you're like, how do we make it better in the city of Denver, it becomes this really massive problem. But if you're like, how do we make it safer for my kid to get to North High School? Then suddenly you have something you can focus
For
on that becomes more
everyone, yeah.
tangible. And then the people who pass through those areas get to benefit from all that work.
That's amazing. Are you a part of any of those like groups that do that?
Yeah, I spend a lot of time with Denver Bicycle Lobby. That's sort of the main one I like to get involved with. It's really great because the organization, like, there isn't like a president and a board and all of that stuff. It's just sort of a group of folks, and someone will throw out, "Hey, I'm working on this issue. This thing is happening," and you're like, "Oh, that appeals to me. I have the energy for that. I'm going to jump in and help you on this." And likewise, if you have an issue that's important to you, you can put that out there, and people will respond. So that's really fun.
Do you get a lot of backing from the community? Like just a lot of times it's having a conversation. That's one of my biggest things. I'm lucky because I have a platform where I can bring it to the front. I host a co-host a morning radio show. And luckily, it's all about Yuma. So I'm able to have these conversations, and everybody knows, like, that was one of the best things that I love is once I started riding with the Bike Life is it allows me to have these conversations and just say, hey, we're out there. And for me, I'm out there with my family. I have a 6-year-old, a 16-year-old, but when we're riding as one, they're all my family. And 99.9% of the time I'm the leader, and it's all about keeping everyone safe. So when I encounter situations, I'm lucky that I have that platform. And, I think it's kind of better because the community has started to kind of understand. But do you guys get the community support, or do you get more kickback when it comes to this kind of stuff?
It sort of depends on the project, where it's happening in the city, the history of how we got to that moment. Um, I don't know, I'm trying to think of an example. Yeah, there's like if you look at there's a big fight right now down by Wash Park over Alameda Street. And there's a ton of community support for that, but there's a kickback from a few very wealthy people who get the city's ear. But the media has been very favorable to what the advocates have to say. So um, we get a lot of support, I think, on like that specific issue. But then there's other times where people get cranky about things and push back pretty aggressively. I know it's kind of very
It's kind of,
large
yeah,
topic to talk about.
exactly.
Yeah.
All
No,
right.
go
Go
ahead.
ahead,
Go ahead,
Nicole.
David.
No, go ahead. Keep going.
No, I was just wondering, I know, I mean, obviously there is bike lanes. We're fortunate to have bike routes because we are more rural, where there's areas where the bicyclists can literally take up the street. Now we push for more bike routes, because we are able to ride in the street, but we have to operate just like a motorized vehicle. But when it comes to the bike lanes, I was watching some of the things that you were talking about, and on your page, you were talking about how the city put the signs in the way of, like, when there's games, baseball games and things like that. Do you guys have more bicycle lanes or bike routes where you guys are?
Um, Again, it sort of depends like what part of the city you live in. But even like those routes that you're talking about, the quality of like when the city comes to us and they say, this is what we're going to build. It's like this beautiful bike route with diverters so people aren't driving on it and they're just getting to their home and then they're getting off back onto the main street and it feels safer. And it's going to have speed cushions and all this stuff. They're like, this is what we're going to build. And then three people complain about it and they say, actually, we're just going to put up signs, but like, I hope that's fine. And then they leave you to fight for your life out there on the street. And they say, and then on their
Literally.
published map that they have, it shows these are all the bike routes. And it's like I-25 and this street don't look any different. I don't understand how this is supposed to be safe for cyclists. So a lot of times it's just like, it's holding them accountable is some of our biggest fights. Like those signs you talked about, they parked these massive signs in one of the main cross town, like protected bike routes for people who hadn't seen the video. And you're just like, guys, there's plenty of legal spots around that don't block anyone. It was where you should have put it. And somehow it
Yeah.
ended up here. And they're just like, oh man, how'd that happen? And it's like, that's what we're up against. It's like tough.
So are you seeing, since you have toured, to other places on your bicycle, are you seeing that same type of thing where you in the different counties and cities where you go?
It's really county by county. I mean, generally as a nation, it's pretty poor, but like if your mayor is into it and your head of transportation is into it and your city council is into it, places like Minneapolis, then it's world class. You have this like amazing infrastructure because it's not complicated. It's not like, a riddle that we can't crack. It's like very clear pattern that you can replace from like replicate from one town to another. Um, and a lot of times, like Americans just absolutely hate change. Like they'll get so cranky about it, and then a month later, they're not talking about, that bike lane or that diverter or whatever. And so when you have politicians who understand that and they put it in, they weather the storm for a month or two, and then more people are riding, things are better. Um, and we get through those growing pain periods, like then it's world class in a lot of places. So yeah, it's not everywhere that's bad, but some places are exceptionally good.
Yeah,
Nice.
I guess I'm kind of lucky because I guess because we see things, we have things like Adopt a Park, Adopt a Road, and things like that. And when we see things, we can send an email saying, hey, this really needs some attention. And within, if it's something minimal, you know, like on the bike paths and things like that, that's usually within a week or two there it's handled. But on the other level, it does take, like you said, you know, those people that are out there willing to kind of go up to the city and go to the county and say, hey, this road is really bad. And there's been instances where it takes a long time. If you have one message to the community, what would you tell them?
To participate. It doesn't take many people. Like, Denver's so large, but a meeting where these decisions get made is 30 people. And so come to stuff, follow orgs like Denver Bicycle Lobby, Denver Streets Partnership, whatever appeals to you, and just come to their meeting, even if it's once a quarter or to like one call of action. It doesn't have to become your whole identity and your big hobby. But when they give you an opportunity to participate, if you can take that, it really makes a big difference.
100%.
Nice.
David, did you have a question, David?
Yeah, no, actually, you covered what I wanted you to cover with Spencer. Well done, Teresa. Thank you so much for doing that. We're going to keep going and stuff right now, but we also have a special co-host, is my friend Eric Stieber. You guys would like him a lot. He is actually considered the most hated man in mountain biking, but he's the guy who makes fun of the guy who wants to make fun of e-bikers who are just out there to ride their bicycles and have fun. So he's anti-shaming when it comes to e-biking. So I'm going to start off with you, Robbie. How are you doing?
Good,
Well,
thank you.
Oh, there you are. There you are. There you go. Yeah, I can hear you. Hey, man, it's always, as you know, I've rode with you quite a few times, and as you know, April 22nd is the opener for the Washington Park Cruisers. So,
Yeah, we're ready.
do you have some things lined up for us this year?
Yeah, we've got some good themes ready, some good routes, some classic stuff. It's going to be a good summer on bikes.
Hey, tell me about a time I've rode with you and stuff like that, but tell me about a time that you've ran up against the man, the law, the city, whatever. Have you ever had to rectify anything in the middle of a ride to change course?
No, not really too bad. A big benefit that our group has is we start later in the night. We meet up at 7:30 p.m. and we don't leave the park until 8 p.m. So by that time on a Wednesday night, things are pretty toned down in the city, and we do a pretty good job of just keeping it smooth.
Cool. How long have you been at it now with Wash Park Cruisers? Because I've
This will
only
be
been
our
around 3 years.
This will be our 6th season. So we started during COVID. It was just me and a small group of friends. It was really inspired by Denver Cruisers. I missed doing those group rides. And when isolation hit, it was just a small group doing an outdoor activity. And it just kind of grew into something we started to invite other people to once we could.
Nice. Now I'm going to swing over to Jude with Eric. Eric, go ahead.
What's up, everyone?
Hey.
So yeah, I just had my first experience of OBC last weekend, or was it last weekend already?
Yeah.
Yeah, last weekend. That was quite an experience, riding with like 700 other bikes, in the middle of the highway and just lights and everything. It was pretty awesome. I had fun. Like I just didn't realize that it was that big, I guess. Because like I'm not from the bike life scene. I've just recently been into it for maybe like, I don't know, maybe 6-7 months. But man, what a ride. Like just going there, seeing all those different people and all the different cool builds. It was definitely inspired me to want to build a pretty sick bike.
That's cool, man. I'm glad you're on tonight with us too, so we have all aspects of bike life and stuff too. Jude, tell us about your work with the Denver Mayor Bicycle Advisory.
Well, the kind of along the same vein that from Teresa's earlier question, MBAC, Mayor's Bicycle Advisory Committee, is I just joined it this year. We meet every month, and kind of things we do is listen to, like, we have representatives from MPAC, Mayor's Pedestrian Advisory Committee. We have representatives from Dottie, and they come and kind of give talks. Sometimes we get an opportunity to voice our opinions that might influence city policy or mayor's policy on bike infrastructure. The reality of today is that Dottie probably doesn't have the funding to really implement the kinds of projects they're asking us about. Like, so for example, an open question right now is, how should we invest in the bicycle infrastructure? Should we improve the quality of the existing bike lanes, or should we extend the network to fill in the gaps like that Spencer alluded to? or focus in areas where there really isn't a lot of infrastructure like Southwest Denver. It's probably not as active or active as Denver Bicycle Lobby, but there's a lot of overlap with folks who represent both.
I would say, honestly, from my experience, is stick with it. You know, we started with what we had within the city and expanding it into the county to kind of make all of our paths connect. It was not easy and it took a lot of time, but as long as you stick with it, I mean, that's the whole goal, right? Is to hopefully get those things. And as long as the community comes together, like you said, we have somebody from all different bike lives here, you know, whether you're on a touring bike, stretch bike, BMX bike, or whatever it is. Again, the goal is still the same. It does take time, but as long as you have somebody advocating and people there saying, hey, you know, this is something we need, you know, the mission will get done.
Yeah. I will say one thing, and thanks for that feedback. That's helpful to. Sometimes it is disheartening when we don't really implement change. But one thing I'm hoping to lead out this year are tour of our city district rides. So we have 11 districts in Denver, each represented by a city council person. Our first ride is actually in a couple weeks, May 9th, and the goal is to ideally invite the mayor or the local city council person to that ride. Also members of the community, and show folks who everyone's welcome. Any kind of bike, it's a slow roll. The goal is to highlight the best of the neighborhoods in that city district, but also highlight some gaps. So not all investments in city districts are created equal. Like if you're in Cap Hill, if you're in like downtown,
They need to experience the bumpy roads.
yeah, or like the disconnects. Like there are some really uncomfortable crossings. So the goal is to like have fun, bring in city representatives, and show the gap so that they can advocate for us. So my city councilwoman, Flor, she's actually coming to one of our rides on May 25th, 17th, one of those days. I forget which one, but I'm excited to show her like the great stuff, but also the stuff that needs improvement.
Jude, I have a question for you. So, how long have you been in Denver? How long have you been in the scene of Denver riding?
In the scene, I would say 2024, and it all really started when I joined Wash Park Cruisers. Before that, I was just some dude on solo rides, you know, like in COVID, just seeing how far I can go. And then I didn't really start meeting people until I joined Wash Park Cruisers. So, you know, Robbie, thanks for creating that space to like welcome all sorts of riders, like whether you come with friends or not.
Yeah, that's what it's all about. It's just, you know, as these guys were saying earlier, just getting out on the bike and encouraging people to come out each week who maybe don't bike or maybe bike a lot and could benefit from meeting some other like-minded folks.
The one thing that I do respect about the three of you guys, and I have rode and pushed pedals right next to each one of you guys, is one, you guys take the time to talk to each individual rider if you can, within the power of like the groups being big. You never like, I have never known you three to ever be cliquish. You always welcome everybody with warm, open arms all the time. So that's what I've always liked about you guys a lot. With you three, where did the big dumb rides theory come from? Or like, where did you come up with that? Because I mean, I've been on the rides and they're dumb as shit, but they're fun as shit. But last time it kicked my ass because, well, I decided to ride with the flu and I had to tap out after 11 miles. Yeah, Jude remembers that.
Yeah. So it all started, you know, basically a background. Our ride is more party pace. And I had seen a guy on Strava ride 300 miles in Wash Park alone at once, consecutively, like overnight, basically. And so that led me to think we should make a group ride and just ride 100 miles in Wash Park. I thought 300 was a little crazy, but 100 seemed doable. So we came up with a Wash Park Century.
Mm-hmm. That was
and
fun
so that was that was last summer, and we decided to put on a Wash Park Century. I tried to reserve the picnic site that we usually meet up at to leave some bags and have waters and stuff. And the city actually ended up rejecting me and saying that there's no cycling events allowed in Wash Park. I tried to explain it's a community group ride. This isn't like an event. It's just us, a bunch of friends riding around the park. And so that's when Spencer stepped up and said, I'll take it on and let's do it anyways. So that's really how the Wash Park Century started, which has now become Big Dumb Rides. And I'll let these guys touch on it a little bit more, but it was a big hit. Our first Wash Park Century last summer, we had about 60 to 70 riders. Over 50 people finished the Century. So when you think about it, that's 5,000 miles in Wash Park in one day as a group. It's pretty cool to think about.
You know, I didn't participate in it, but that day I actually rode in and rode out just from my house to the park.
Well, then that's part of the great aspect of it. Trying to meet a Century group that's riding a route, you know, around the city, you'd be struggling to find them all day. This is a great community project that anyone can come out. You can come out and ride 3 laps with your friends, and then you can hang out at the picnic site and just chat it up. So it's a great all-inclusive, ride as much or as little as you want. The goal is 100 miles.
You know, the one thing I like about the Wash Park Cruisers, and you guys are kind of like very clear about this, because like a lot of the rides, they want to stop at every liquor store they see. The way I look at it from the Wash Park Cruisers, you guys hold everybody accountable. Like, if you want booze, you need to have it with you because we ain't stopping. We're stopping at like the 12-mile mark. And I always like it because we always end with pizza. They end with pizza every time, Teresa. It's really fun. So have you been with the Denver Cruiser Rides before you started doing your own thing? You were with the DCR, right? You did the DCR stuff?
Yeah.
Was it as big as they say it is, or is it just a fabrication of? Like,
It was
it 5,000? Was it 5,000 deep, like they say it once was?
I don't know about 5,000, but definitely 2,000. Like the food trucks at the end, the naked booth giving away juice, like dispensaries with raffles. It was crazy.
Oh, okay. Eric, come on, let's hear a question for you for one of these guys.
Got to unmute it first. I was muted. I don't want to have any noise in the background. How do you guys feel about e-bikes in your community?
I can start on that. I get this a lot from folks who get cranky about e-bikes in bike lanes and stuff like that. I think there is a distinction to make between an e-bike and a motorcycle that is sold as an e-bike that goes 40 miles an hour. Those are pretty unsafe in the space that's carved out for bikes, but I think anybody who's not driving is on our team and deserves, the support and dignity and respect of anyone who's riding an acoustic bicycle. And right now, the way things are set up, they've got everybody fighting for a little bit of space on the edges of the roads, but the more people that come out, e-bikes are bringing more people into the car-free lifestyle. Builds our base. It allows us to ask for more space, roads that are car light or car free, so that people can ride e-bikes, e-motorcycles, things like that across town and to run their errands and stuff. Like, that's where we're headed. It makes us all stronger.
So like kind of the reason behind why I bring that up is because like when I was at OBC, that was my second ever time of like joining a bike life ride. The first one I did was in Phoenix from one of my local friends who got me into it. And so Friday night was like probably one of the most amazing experiences for me on a bike when it comes to just cruising and hanging out with a bunch of people and just, having a good time. And then on Saturday, I went to the afternoon ride at OBC, and it was me and my daughter and my wife. And it was a little bit of a windy day, so that kind of sucked. But the thing that I noticed that I wasn't fond of, and this is coming from someone who actually rides e-mountain bikes and all bikes, I think they're cool and I dig them, and people hate on them and I don't really understand why. But the one thing I didn't like about that second ride that afternoon was that everybody was on bicycles with throttles, which was super annoying. And I just don't get the point of that. You're not cruising anymore. Now you're just hauling ass
that's
everywhere.
The motorcycle situation.
Yeah, that was that. But they were bicycles. They were just bicycles with throttles, but no one was pedaling. And so I was looking through a lot of the footage I had of like the Insta360 footage I had, and literally everybody was not pedaling at all. And it kind of defeated the purpose, in my opinion. And what sucked about it though is that my daughter was on like a 20-inch BMX bike, and the whole group just like left us. and they were gone, and we were just by ourselves. And I was like, all right, well, this isn't what I came here for.
Right. Yeah, I also find that the throttle bikes encourage similar behavior that I notice like in people who drive, which is like kind of closer passing, slightly more like aggressive lack of like awareness and speed when they're driven really recklessly. Um, but yeah, dude, full squish e-bike, just a quick plug for anyone who's never ridden one. A full squish e-bike mountain bike is one of the greatest days out you'll have on a bicycle. Those
Facts.
things are unbelievable. First time I rode one, I was smiling harder than I have like in years.
And what people don't realize though is that they don't move unless you pedal.
Right,
Like
exactly.
they won't go at all. You have to pedal no matter what. So like that's what kind of like was crazy to me is that like nobody was pedaling. They were literally just going brr, and they literally had their feet straight. And I'm just like, wait a minute, I thought we were on a cruiser ride. I thought we were all cruising, and it was like not that at all. So like it kind of bummed my daughter out, especially, and she's only like 11 years old, and she was having fun the night before. And then we went to that ride, and she was like, Dad, I can't go anymore. Like they're going too fast. I can't keep up. So I had to like call that ride. So it was kind of a bummer because her first experience was great, and she was excited the next day, and the next day ruined it.
Yeah, that is a bummer.
I think that's kind of like the hot topic right now within the bike life communities because I mean like Spencer said there's two different kinds and I know within our bike life we if they I mean we have some Los Riders in Yuma, you know, so they come with the music and everything and it comes down to respecting but I know that we hold anybody that's, you know, whether you're an e-bike or not to the same standard, you know, we promote bicycle safety. We have little kids. Like I said, my 6-year-old
Sure.
has been pedaling now for a year, you know, so either you're all the way in the front or you're all the way in the back type of thing.
Yeah.
But there's stay in your lane, no oncoming traffic, no swerving and all these things. But I know in Arizona specifically, I have friends in Phoenix, I have friends in Tucson, and they are really cracking down on like Spencer called them the throttle bikes. And my son is 16 years old and he's begging for one. And I'm like, wait till you're 18 and you can purchase your own, only because I see what's going on with them. And even though he may be following the rules, all it takes is one type of thing. And I know in San Diego, we're getting ready to go to San Diego, you know, coming up here to ride with Marissa. And they're having to change routes because even on the piers, on the boardwalk, they're not allowing e-bikes. They're literally handing tickets out left and right. So I think, you know, it comes down to the ride organizers too, to say, hey, this is allowed, this is not allowed, you know, type of thing. And again, I will go to bat for Yuma Bike Life no matter what. And we are a big snowbird community where we get a lot of people from out of town, you know, during our winter times. And I literally saw a pack of 50 to 60, you know, elderly people riding their e-bikes, but they're staying safe. They're on our bike paths. They're staying out of traffic, but all it takes is one. So I think as, you know, as group ride organizers, if we're all on the same page, then we have to, you know what, it's happened before. We've had to kick people out for other things. You know, it's that type of thing. You can't follow the rules and sorry, you can't ride.
Yeah, no, like all that like is so valid, you know. It's like obviously it's safety, but it's like if everybody just kind of pulls back for a second and thinks about it, it's like a cruiser ride is so you cruise. Like it's not about trying to go fast. It's not about passing everyone. It's about cruising and like staying in some type of formation in a sense, not necessarily like a super organized formation, but like everybody together just cruising, talking, having a good time. Cause like when we did that Friday night ride at OBC, like me, Dave, my daughter, my wife, bunch of people around us, we're just like hanging out, talking, like having conversations. But like when you're on a bike, like and you're just throttling it, like you can have a conversation with someone, you got to pay attention because you're gonna crash into someone, or you know, and it's like it's a totally different. It's crazy. It's the same environment but different parts of it all at the same time. It was just kind of odd to me a little bit to think about it because you know the mountain bikes, like you're usually like in some kind of formation with that when you ride with people too, like you're going downhill or you're going uphill, whatever, but it's not like a Sur-Ron. And I think everybody tries to lump the Sur-Rons into like what e-bikes are, pedal assist bikes. And I think that's the biggest issue is that, like you said, they're calling everything e-bikes. And it's like, you can't do that because they're not the same. Those are literally electric motorcycles.
Here's a question that we have, and I'm going to give this to Robbie. This is coming from Tony, who was my last co-host on there. When should be a good time to ride e-bikes in a bike ride? Should it be said in the beginning of the ride or no e-bikes in general? What do you think on that?
I think if a group feels strongly about it, they should say it beforehand, and just kind of put that out there for them. I know there's at least one group in Denver that prefers not to have e-bikes, and they're clear about it. And I think in that case, that's, at their discretion, and that's fine with it. I think a lot of it just comes down to respect, as mentioned before. Like, I really don't mind e-bikes in most situations. It definitely can lead to some issues in cases, but on a slower, when you've got especially a predominantly pedal group, and most people are pedaling, I think the e-bikes have a easier time fitting in with the pace and not wanting to accelerate, different than Eric's, kind of experience where the majority was on electric bikes. And so they were keeping a faster pace. I also carry a cooler or dogs in a trailer behind my bike, which helps regulate the pace quite nicely and slow it down, because my top speed is much lower with weight.
What was really funny about my experience, if I could just throw it in there real quick, is that like that day on that ride, the group of people we rode with who put on that ride were people that were like in their late 50s, mid 60s, that were the ones hauling ass everywhere, which was crazy to me. And I was like, wait a minute, shouldn't you guys be like cruising even more?
Oh, that's funny.
So, Robbie, you've been in this bike thing for a hot minute. I know that. I've rode with you several times. You absolutely love it when you see me on my analog bike, because a lot of people know me for the surfer bike. But tell me about an adventure of a pop-up ride. It can't be a wash park cruiser ride. What's a memorable moment that you have in bike life that's always sat with you?
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, just a couple of weeks ago, I was out on a Denver Bike and Brew ride, and we went to Park Hill Park, which is, for those not familiar, it's an old golf course that's going to be converted into a City of Denver park. It closes when the sun goes down. We got there like right at sunset, went in for a lap, and were chased out by the park ranger. And when I say chased, I mean this guy was full trucking, trying to grab somebody off a bike. It was a pretty funny power trip. And that's just one of those things, you just laugh it off, and everybody laughs, and we keep pedaling.
Nice. Jude, what about yourself? Give me some. Oh, you know what? One thing I want to talk about, I've never really sparked on it now that I have you on the show and stuff. When you had the benefit ride, Jude, I had to give you props for only being in the game for 2 years. I couldn't believe that you put together a 900-person ride, that they came together in the community. That was quite an accomplishment that you did that day. I mean, I did show up. I did some coverage on it. It was a good time. Tell us about that experience and what made you bring that to reality.
So I can't take too much credit for that ride. The credit really goes to everyone in Denver. And so how I got involved was that after Ryan Doozer in Boulder organized the Boulder ride, behind the scenes, almost every group was talking like, hey, who's going to organize the Alex Pettit ride for Denver? Denver Bicycle Lobby eventually stood up and was already in the motions of setting it up. But I don't think DBL has a strong tradition of actually organizing big group rides like Wash Park Cruisers, Bike and Brew, Fems and Dems, things like that. Other riders had, so like I'm part of the Discord, bikedenver.net. There's a huge community there. There's like 1,000 strong, tends to be a few dozen who are actually active. But there are lurkers there. And then there's like, take a step back. The Denver bike community, it kind of lives in 3 or 4 areas. There's Discord for like the loners who try not to be on social media. There's the Instagram tribes, and then there's Facebook. And then there's like folks who just aren't on social media at all. So some of us sit across all 3 platforms. I'm one of them, and I kind of heard the stirrings on Discord, on Instagram. People from Instagram reached out to me or to Big Dumb Rides, and basically I just saw an opportunity. The dam was building up, the water behind that wall, and I just told everyone to, hey, stand down. DBL is gonna go post something, and everyone got behind the DBL post. All I really did was make sure everyone was united under DBL and just put together a route that worked for as many people as possible.
Well, you put together a hell of a route. That was a great ride and for a good cause.
Yes.
That was really, I mean, everybody came out. I mean, every face from Bike Life was there and stuff. I'm a big fan of the cruiser rides, and it's like twice a month I'll ride with Wash Park, and then twice a month, you guys know, I'll usually be all in black with what is it, Bike Club 5280, another great faction. There's so many great rides in the state. You've got the Wednesday night cruisers as well. You got Wash Park Cruisers, Bike Club 5280. What else is there? The Wheelie Boys, 303 Streets. We have quite the community in Denver, Colorado. I mean, there's something for everyone. Them Wheelie Boys, though, they get a little crazy sometimes. And one thing I'm not used to, I think every rider here can say that, nobody wants to smell gasoline. I can't stand when the motorcycles come out when we're riding bikes, or the dirt bikes, I should say. But, to each their own, What do you guys think? Let me see. Teresa, what makes a good bike ride?
What makes a good bike ride or a good bike to ride?
No, what makes a good bike ride?
You
That's
know
what
what? It's everything that everybody's on here that has preached before. It's unity. We're all out there for the same purpose. No drama, have fun, and we do a couple of different types of rides, but our dinner rides are very much like those party rides where we have a good time and keeping everyone safe. It's the no drama, no ego. Everybody's out there just to ride with everybody.
Nice. Robbie, what would make a successful bike ride for you?
I would say a good route. And maybe pre-scoping the route sometimes. Nothing will kill a good vibe like running into a detour or a construction site that makes you have a sketchy street crossing. I think the route comes down to a lot of it.
Okay, cool. Spencer?
Yeah, I want to echo what Robbie said, like making that route good so that while you're riding it the whole time, you're not feeling stressed. There's not really much you have to look at other than the people around you, and then you get back to where you started, and there were no major episodes. Um, which Jude selling himself short making that memorial ride. Like it's a skill set that people have to make like a really nice social group ride route. Um, and that I think that really makes a difference. A lot of times people are just like, we'll get together and then we'll ride somewhere. And that's usually what you do the first time. Then you learn pretty quickly that you want to have a plan. Especially a plan that other people know so that they can have it up on their computers or their phones or whatever, or they can have looked at it ahead of time so that, there's a general knowledge that the whole group has as they're riding together.
Nice. Eric, what makes a successful day out climbing mountains for you?
As long as I can survive the climb, that's all that matters to me. Because we go out and the rides we do, it's like a minimum of 1,000 feet every time. And it's like, they may not be a lot to some, but for me, who barely got into mountain biking like 6 years ago, doing a 1,000-foot climb in a couple miles, whew, that's the butter zone and not being dead at the end.
Nice. I want to get you out here to Colorado because you got somebody like Spencer that would hit those trails. I'll be on the sidelines as the Palm Squad, making sure you guys have refreshments on the way back down. But yeah, I mean, this has been a great podcast tonight. I'm so glad that you guys came on and stuff. So now I'm going to ask the question that I ask everyone every single time we're on this podcast. We went for about 45 minutes. Robbie, if you could send a message to your Bike Life brothers and sisters, state to state and city to city, and across the waters, and just human beings in general, what would your message be tonight?
I would say challenge yourself. Get out on the bike and do something you've never done before, whether it's a commute to work, riding somewhere that you've never ridden before, or going for a big distance. Challenge yourself and have fun out there.
Nice. Eric, what would be your message tonight?
I'll make sure I'm not on mute. Oh, man. Bikes are for everyone. Don't forget that. Like, get everybody involved. That's my whole thing. Doesn't matter what kind of bikes they are. I try to get everybody into mountain biking or whatever biking it is. And some people do it, some people don't. But, you can't explain it when you're the person who absolutely just lives, eat, breathe, and sleep bikes, and they just don't get it. They'll never understand it. But I try to get people to act like that.
Nice. Teresa.
Just get on the bike and do it. You know, there's a lot of people out there that I can't, they make excuses on why they can't do it. Just get on the bike, get your families on bike. That's what we all do as a whole family, is we're out there pedaling together as one, you know, no drama, out there to have a good time. Get on the bikes.
Mr. Jude.
Let bikes be the common denominator to meet people who are different from you and have different points of view. Just for all the social rides, I've met people and made friends with people that I wouldn't otherwise through work or just my usual social circles.
Mr. Spencer. Can't hear you, Spencer.
Participate at the local level. That's how we're going to make a difference. And to Jude's point, you're going to meet a lot of new folks doing that. Advocating for your neighbors and the safety of your community is not the grossness of politics. It's making your area safer, and it's a worthy cause. And at the local level, you can really make an impact.
Awesome. Hey, as you guys know, thank you for coming on the podcast. We had talked about this for some time, and I'm glad I got you guys on here. I've ridden bikes with every one of, well, except for Teresa, I haven't rode bikes with yet, but that's going to happen soon. It's gonna happen soon. As you guys know, Robbie, you guys, it's still on for the Midwest Invasion. We'll be having a ride out Wednesday night, so I'm hoping that I can get you guys to meet us at the hotel to ride the Midwest out. I'll let you know ahead of time. It's July 8th when it'll be a soft meet and greet between Denver. So you guys are all invited. We're even going to do a Saturday Golden Ride I'm actually, because there's going to be electric trikes and electric stretches that are going to be here. So I'm going to have a moving company loading up their bikes at the light rail at Metro. And then we're going to catch the train all the way up there. The truck will be waiting for them. And then we're going to descend down into Denver. And then Sunday, it's also going to be the weekend of the Black Arts Festival as well. So that's going to be quite some thing. And then on Sunday, I'm going to do a ride out from the hotel at the Holiday Inn Express to City Park, to the Cruiser Corner that I like to have barbecues at like I've had in the past. And we're going to have a bike life party for them on the way out. So all of you guys know you're welcome to come and stuff like that. And I'm sure I'm going to see you guys at it. So it's going to be quite, I'll see you at one of the rides. So it will be fun. So thank you, everybody, for coming on tonight. I am David Flores, your bike life surfer from the 5280. Thank you for tuning in to episode 25. Don't cut off yet, guys. I'm going to talk to you guys right after this. Hey, have a great night, everybody. Peace.